Can we have regular keys?
Alright, this is going to be an exciting video. Dealing with multiple fighting. And then who are you going to deal with? Nah, this is actually, you know what I just noticed? That you can post a video and post a lot of videos and it doesn't have to say anything. But I want to do that too. So I thought this would be a video that is just a waste. You shouldn't spend your time watching this. Like Wing Chun, a waste of time. Waste of time, Wing Chun. So what do you guys want to talk about?
Whose skinny jeans look better, mine or
Like a twirl?
Why not? It's not truly.
It's great. Show all the fans.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna twerk. Who are you gonna be?
Voices.
All right. Who's Robin Thicke?
I don't want to be Robin Thicke in this one.
Maybe we should talk at least about something. Should we talk about something?
No.
Yeah, we should talk about how Negra was doing the nunchuck demonstration and
Hey, man.
why you need to know what you're doing when you're doing nunchucks. But actually, what I found out is that, you know, I actually look statistically, I think this is right. By a minute, is it a minute and a half? By a minute and a half of the video, almost everyone tunes out.
What? I can do it.
That's not even a minute.
Newton did it about 30 seconds.
So basically, all the subscribers need some Ritalin. Stay focused.
You guys have no subject?
I brought up the skinny jeans.
Yeah, that's it. That's short. We should do a latest Wing Chun movie coming out. Is there a latest Wing Chun movie?
I don't think so. Except for Hitman 3D.
How much?
Is there really Hitman 3D?
How much did someone?
Donnie Yen signed.
It's 3D.
Well, yeah, that's what they say.
That's gonna be awesome.
That means enrollment's going to spike up.
How much should it been
Like
here?
a 5 last year.
How much should you tip for a good hair?
You know what's better than good Wing Chun? Love.
One-sided love.
Hey, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
This is actually pretty easy. I could probably put 10 of these a day where I don't do anything. And probably get at least 400, 500 views per video. Maybe more. I have quite a following still.
Still. Yeah.
Still.
We can take care of that.
We should do the ultimate. We should do the ultimate comparison. Who would win, Donnie Yen or Bruce Lee?
Oh man.
Or Jackie Chan? No, seriously. If we had to do a discussion, would it be Bruce Lee? Who would you pick? Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, who else? Donnie Yen, Steven Seagal, Van Damme, Chuck Norris,
Jason Statham.
Jason.
Yeah, you're right.
How do you pronounce his last name? Statham?
Statham. I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
Who would you pick?
I picked Statham because he'd run him over.
No, fighting-wise, not driving. Think Chinese Connection, he had a car? Did they have a car in Chinese Connection? Or was he just running with a rickshaw? Ran him over with his rickshaw.
High-speed chase.
No, seriously, who would you pick of all those? Actually, what's your all-time, least top 2, top 3 favorite martial arts movie?
Martial arts movie? I really liked the freaking on the box stuff because he was all in midair hitting people with elbows. That was pretty cool.
Okay, Unbuck. Yeah, Unbuck. I think the first Unbuck was entertaining.
Yeah.
What was the other one where he's with the elephant and he put the 2 tusks on his arm?
Was that the protector?
I think so, but they called it a different thing, or it was like Tum Young Gun 2 or something like that.
I'd say surprisingly, none of my top 3 have Asian actors in it.
What?
Karate Kid 1, Karate Kid 2, well, I mean, that is the main character in Bloodsport.
Yeah.
And Bloodsport? Oh yeah, Bloodsport was awesome.
Fist of Legend. That's one of my favorites.
Fist of Legend? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I have to go with, which one is the Drunken Master 2?
What do you mean, which one?
They call it 1 and 2. They switched it off. So
Master 2 is the longer one.
yeah, the Jackie Chan one.
Yeah.
I think that could be without doubt the most difficult choreographed fighting I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
he was doing some crazy stuff.
Seriously, I was like, I don't know how many takes that took, but
I know he got hurt.
Oh no, you know what? I take it back. My top one all time is Chun Chat.
actually, what makes Chun Chat awesome is like he'll be like in the middle of like Europe somewhere, and all of a sudden there's like a parallel bar or a pommel horse somewhere in the street. Yeah, he's doing like flares, and he's like, he was actually doing flares, right? Oh man. Oh man. Yeah.
I haven't seen that in years.
Actually, back in the day, I used to watch. What pissed me off is back in the day, I used to watch. Remember Revenge of the Ninja, Shokasugi?
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy crap! He's like the freaking last of the ninja masters. Then later on, I find out he just does karate. Did you know that? He wasn't actually a ninja master. Okay. But you guys all saw Revenge of the Ninja, right? Yeah. The best part. Remember that sumo guy with the blonde chick? Wait, I should edit that.
That'll be edited out.
The sumo guy?
Oh, that's messed up.
Oh man, so we pretty much talked about nothing, and you probably wasted your time. Oh, that's it.
Thank you.
All right, if you bothered to stay past 3 minutes of BS, we're actually going to start talking about some Wing Chun stuff.
I wonder if that was only 3 minutes. I'm pretty sure we went into like the 5-minute round.
That's probably longer. We'll probably eliminate everybody from that. All right, so let's. Today I want to actually talk about some useful, some more detailed Wing Chun stuff, some more advanced stuff that you can. That we'll talk a particular subject first. So first of all, we're going to talk about the idea of why muscle is not power. Okay, I've said that countless of times, but this is a difficult subject because I remember a lot of times I'd be like Stewie, you remember, annoying Lois, mom, mommy, like that, because I was, what the hell do you mean? I keep asking Stewie, what do you mean? Muscle's not power, year after year, because each time I'm trying to figure out, he says it, I learn it, I kind of grasp it, he says it, I kind of grasp it. So what I wanted to give you is an example of exactly muscle is reliant. It needs something. It needs something to exist. It needs, it needs like that catalyst for it to work. So the best example I can give you is if Newton's here, I want to push Newton, okay? So right away, I'm like, right here, I'm gonna push him, boom, right? I'm dependent on Newton in order for me to push him. Because by the time I settle down, I'm like here, and I push off Newton. But the problem is, when I push off Newton, yeah, as long as Newton's there, I have something to push. I have something to control. I have something to actually cling on, use my muscle with. But the problem is, once I initiate that muscle and I'm dependent on that, all of a sudden he magically disappears, like I Dream of Jeannie. Oh, now what are you going to do? Okay, so you have to understand the concept first. Muscle is not power. If you depend on muscle, it's good. That's okay. You're better than most people, I guess. But the thing is, I always look at it as laws of diminishing return. There's a certain point, no matter how great a shape you are, that muscle keeps dwindling down. You look at the athlete, like the Olympians, we just had the Olympics. You look at most athletes who do like an individual sport, like, who's that, Shaun White, right? He's 27, I think he was 27. Yeah, 27, 28, and he obviously he doesn't care. He won his gold medal several times and all that. But you already see at that point he's already depreciated. He just can't. Even if he were to say, I'm going to amp it up and work instead of 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, or 12 hours a day, he just can't be the same. And I'm not saying don't work out. I'm not saying that the guy who's 60 years old who can do a triathlon, and all that, and is in great shape, that doesn't mean, oh, that's not impressive. It's just the fact that that 60-year-old at his peak is no match for the 25-year-old at his peak. That's it. Okay, that's not, so don't go. I'm not saying let's hit McDonald's and just go crazy. All right? Otherwise, it's hard to fit in your skinny jeans. All right, so with that concept in mind, we understand first, muscle's not power, and why you have to be able to do the next step, which is difficult. Hold your vertical in place. Sounds simple. You know, you open up your stance. You know, everyone has their own version of the stance. Just think, okay, if I stand like this, straight up, I can stand here for hours. If you do anything where you're leaning forward or backward or unnatural, it's just painful. And it's not a case where you have to develop the muscle and then really gut it out, and then years later you can maintain the horse stance and be impressed. Wing Chun is so natural, it's so beautiful, it's so simple. Okay, so when I say hold your vertical means what? The tension from the C7 all the way to the L4, L5, you have to hold that straight and be dependent on yourself. First and foremost. Everything I'm showing you, the more advanced stuff that I'm talking about today, you can't do it if you can't stand straight up. All right? I've always told people that I don't look at the hand speed that someone shows me. I look at someone's center, and the center automatically tells the truth. Okay, you could be, I do 25 years of Wing Chun. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I see how you stand right away. I know the truth. Yeah, you could say that, but we'll find out right away. Okay, so with that concept in mind, I don't care which one, anyone, Danny. Okay, so what happens? We're gonna, how exactly are we dealing something? How exactly are we dealing with structure? So in other words, Danny's here. He wants to push, okay, and I want to deal with that force. And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm gonna get pushed over. We gotta understand the first concept that we're trying to work with. One, we hold our vertical in place. Two, do not misinterpret what Wing Chun is doing with the stance. If you're thinking in the sense that he pushes into, all the force is coming here, and then I'm rooting myself, you know, form of a tree. Right? I'm not rooting. You can't root yourself. I'm creating a balance in order to deal with that. Because if you think about it, his force is 1, I'm 2, and the ground is 3. The ground, as long as it's solid, won't crack. If he's bigger, great. The only weak point is me, the individual, the structure that has to be that'll be compromised from the force. So the common mistake is, or misunderstanding is, when he pushes towards me, I'm trying to be like, my structure of the pyramids is combined. It won't work. Will never work. Okay? So understand that. I am not trying to hold my structure. You have to understand, he's moving. If he's moving, I'm moving too. In other words, we're here. He's pushing towards me. He's moving towards me. I'm moving as well. But it doesn't look like I'm moving. I'm maintaining my vertical. Okay? Because if he's moving towards me, right? He's pushing towards me. I'm like this. See how I'm dependent on him? I'm leaning towards him. So if that's the case, I'll end up falling right away. So before we can even, like I said, if you can't maintain your vertical, none of this will make sense. None of this you can do. None of this, you should basically go back to the drawing board and practice that, because we're talking about a topic that deals with the actual use of muscle. In reality, muscle, light energy, hard energy, it's all the frickin' same. It really is. If you really understand it, it's all the same. So, what have we talked about? Muscle is not power. We have to be able to hold our vertical. He's in motion, right? He's moving, I'm moving. I'm not trying to hold the force when he comes in. All right. So, what else is happening here? When he starts pushing in, okay, he starts pushing in, the force that's coming in, I have to do what? Attack the source. What's the source? His center. Right? That means this is the general, this is the soldier. I don't care what the soldier is. Okay, what the soldier does, I don't care. Because if you try to deal with the soldier, boom, I'm trying to deal with it, the general keeps sending out more. And eventually he'll push you out. Right? But I'm here. He has the soldier here. When he pushes me, his center is already off. My adjustment every single time to this is to his center. Okay? So in other words, once we touch, boom. I know what his center is doing. If he's leaning backwards, I know. He's leaning forward, I know. I'm totally aware of what the center is doing. Okay? It makes sense so far? Just chime in and say if you want to add anything into that. All right, so with that being said, so he's pushing in, and the force is coming in. So if the source of the power is his center, what happens? That means from here, this source is going here to enable his hand to generate more power. And when his hand has more power, eventually you'll rock back and you'll fall back into that. Okay? But when he sends the force to me, what happens? If I know how to connect myself properly, that means the connection of the triangle from the legs to the body to the hands. If I know how to connect myself properly from here, I send back the force automatically to him once I touch. That means the more he pushes here, it reflects right back automatically to him. Okay? The initial force that we touch here is, let's say, 2 pounds, right? This 2 pounds, if I don't know how to do that, will become 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and eventually I'll be knocked over. But if I know how to control this properly, when he starts pushing in, there's nothing to push. This 2 pounds still stays 2 pounds the entire time, right? 2 pounds the entire time. And do not misinterpret this. I am not redirecting the force. Okay? That's common misconception. You can redirect the force, don't get me wrong. This is very basic. You can open up your own Wing Chun school and do this. He pushes towards me, oh look, what's he doing? I'm just redirecting the force. Wing Chun is so powerful because he can't do anything. You can take anyone off the street and teach them that in one day. That's very basic. That's one way. So basically, he pushes one way, I just go the other way. He pushes the other way, I just redirect him all the time, guiding him off there. Okay? I'm not trying to teach you that, because that's the wrong concept if you're trying to work that. Very beginner level of that. Why is that flawed? Because like I said before, if he punches towards me in Chisao, right? He punches towards me, and I try to redirect. Let me move over. If he punches toward me, I try to redirect the force. You can't see the camera. Shit.
Go this way. I'll go that way.
Which way are you going?
Let's go this way. I'll punch you.
You're punching this angle.
Damn it. There's no cheat way.
You're like, just go straight. You're like Ray J with Kim Kardashian. You don't have any camera awareness. I don't want to see your face.
Hey man, it's not nice.
All right. I don't know why that came out of nowhere. Not that I was watching that last night.
At midnight.
What was Danny on also? All right, anyway. He punches, just a simple punch. He punches, I'm trying to guide him out of the way. Right? What's wrong with guiding it? He's not hitting me, I'm taking him off the line, that's perfect. The problem is the actual timing involved with that. If he punches towards me, right, and I guide him out of here, if I go like this, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, by the time I try to attack him, too late. You can apply it if the guy sucks, but if he's really good, that's no good. Instead, when he punches, let's just use one hand. When he punches towards me, what happens? I'm still going forward the entire time. The line's been taken off just from my forward motion, and I'm there to hit him automatically. Notice I did not waste that split second or whatever, redirecting the force. You don't want to do that. Because by the time he moves, I already counter him off that motion. Okay? All right, what else? Let's go back to that. So, we're back to this. Not thinking of Ray J.
Just Ray J. Right?
Just Ray J. Yeah. Anyway, so he's pushing. Same thing. We're doing it. Now, what happens? Why is it that everyone thinks he pushes, I'm reacting. He pushes, I'm reacting. I'm countering off that. I am not waiting for that. In other words, it's almost like he moves, I move afterwards. If you do it that way, you'll be a split second late, and you won't be able to maintain the structure that way. The best way I can have you visualize this or think of it this way: one, I'm aware of my center, my 0 point. Okay, so once I touch him, all right, this 0 point of myself is now a 0 point of the entire target. So once I touch it, I'll exaggerate. Right now we're connected. If you can see that, we're connected. That's one entire unit. So the moment the unit, so at that point I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is the 0. This is the neutral point of the entire structure. When this structure when he starts to move and starts pushing, all I'm doing is maintaining my 0 the entire time. I'm not trying to be like, he's pushing, I'm trying to control him. I'm trying to guide him like that. Imagine I'm aware of what it is to hold vertical. When he pushes towards me, I'm just maintaining the vertical the entire time. See, everything stays exactly the same. No different. And the entire time I'm staying 0. But if I'm trying to control him, you can see right away. There's no way you can do it. Because trying to control him is you're a split beat late on the technique. Okay? So by maintaining the 0 point of the entire unit as 1, then you can do it. All right? And we'll add one more thing. And I say this, I say all this like, oh, you just do this, this, and that. But yeah, you need practice with that. So the next one you're thinking, okay, so if we can maintain that 0 of that, okay, how is it? Doesn't structure have a limitation? Technically, I'll tell you this, structure has no damn limitation. Limitation is your skill, all right? You know your structure really well, it can hold anything. So, in other words, he's here. If he wants to push hard, I want to go slowly. Push. Actually, I'll push. I want you to demonstrate. Imagine I'm here. Right now, I'm trying to push. Now, all of a sudden, I want to push hard. Right there. See how I need that split second where I'm going to put in the force? Right? At that moment, guess what? Everything, I'm holding my structure totally passive. So, go slowly. He wants to crank up the power. Guess what? I counter him already.
Do it again. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
So, I want you to be able to see this, if you can see it. He's here, he's about to put in, right there, okay, let's go back. He's about to put there, I counter him there, before he can put it in. See, so it doesn't matter how strong he is. See, and since I'm holding my own structure, it doesn't matter. When he leaves, automatically I leave too. See, my power automatically leaves. I don't have to worry about it. But if I can't control my own center like this, and then I'm dependent on him. So the idea is, imagine, he's sitting on his chair, right? Every time he wants to get up, well, I push him down. It doesn't matter how big the person is. He's 500 pounds, 200 pounds, 100 pounds. He wants to get up, you sit down. He wants to get up, you sit down. So same thing here. That's why I never have to deal with the force. He's trying to push me. By the time he tries to push it, I just maintain it.
Sucks.
Now, you could use it the same way. But he's pushing towards me, right? There's a lot of force. See, I take it over. I can push him. All right. And what's the difference between pushing him? When I'm pushing him this way, notice I'm controlling my center the entire time. But if I'm not controlling my center, I'm pushing into him like this. I have to lean into him. All right? Do not be a slave to that. You control your vertical. The stuff you can do is unlimited, okay? The structure itself can take beyond what you can imagine. But you have to master holding yourself vertical. Don't limit yourself to the low way of doing it. All right, hey, you guys want to add anything to that? All right, if you stuck around for this, you learned something then.